Hi everybody, Miss Rachel at Farmingdale Public Library here, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own paper beads. For this activity, you will need some brightly colored paper. You'll need a pencil. You'll need a ruler. You will need a pair of sharp scissors, either a toothpick or a barbecue skewer, or you could also unbend a paper clip. And you'll need some glue. I'm going to use a glue stick for this, but you could also use liquid glue and some Mod Podge to seal the beads. I'm going to be using a little brush with these. If you'd like, you could also use spray varnish or clear nail polish instead, whatever you have handy. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is on the flip side of my paper, the wrong side of my paper, I'm going to measure and draw the template for my beads. I'm going to draw from my edge, mark where 1 inch should be, 2 inches, 3, and 4 across my paper. This is going to help me determine where my beads should eventually end up. Now from that 1 inch mark, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line from my first inch mark to the end of the paper. Okay. Now, I'm going to go across from the top and make a straight line across. This is to help me get started. From where my triangle ends at the top, I'm going to make one more straight line and then draw a 90-degree angle vertical line. So what should happen is my marks for the inch at the top and the bottom should cross. Oops, let me adjust that a little bit. This is why we're doing this on the wrong side of the paper. And at the bottom, we should end up now with 2 triangles. You can keep doing this across the entirety of your page to make more beads. But I'm going to skip ahead and start cutting out my triangles. So you should be left with 2 right triangles. In other words, 2 triangles that are 90-degree angles, and one angle here, this is the 90-degree angle, is completely vertical. Okay, now I'm going to set this paper off to the side. So I have 2 triangles here, and this will make 2 beads. I'm going to set one off to the side, and we'll just work with one for right now. Now, depending upon the size of what you're using to roll your bead, you'll either end up with a thicker bead or a thinner bead. Today, I'm going to unbend a paper clip to make my rolling template. So this will end up with a thinner opening on my bead. I'm going to take some glue, and with my glue stick, I'm going to give a quick coat over the back side of my bead. Now, you could do this with 2-tone paper or single-tone paper, whatever you'd like. I'm using paper today where it's very clear which side is which. See, here's my red side and here's my white side. Now, I'm going to take my paper clip, or you could use a toothpick instead, and I'm going to lay it over here just to help me get started. And I'm going to tuck my paper over the paper clip. And then I'm going to continue to roll the paper as tightly as I can, tucking and rolling as I go, around on itself. Now, you'll notice that this is going to form a tube. I'm trying to pinch the edges to make it as even as possible so both sides are symmetrical, but you could make it a little bit more symmetrical or a little less symmetrical, depending upon what kind of bead you want. So I'm twisting it around and pressing with one hand, my non-dominant hand here, while I hold it steady with my dominant hand. But you could do this in reverse if that's more comfortable for you. Okay, and when you get to the very, very end of your triangle here, that very little tip, you might need an extra dot of glue to make it stay, which is what I'm going to do. Just going to take my glue stick and give it a little bit extra on the edge. Okay. So when that's totally rolled up, and your glue is dry, you should have your basic bead shape that you can slide off like this. And this is a tubular bead that's got a little bit of a bevel on it, and it looks pretty nice. If you want, once the glue is dry, you can also decorate your bead with either some paint or some markers too. But when you're satisfied with how your bead looks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of Mod Podge, which I have here on a paper plate, on my foam brush, and I'm going to lightly brush Mod Podge over the entire thing. This is to seal the bead and make it a little bit more waterproof. Now, if your glue isn't totally dry, adding the Mod Podge might start to separate some of your bead rolls. So try to brush in the direction of your bead roll and press it down. You might also want to use your fingers to spread out the glue a little bit. Okay, now this is one bead right here. I'm going to lay this on the side of my paper plate so I have a flat place for it to dry, where it's still suspended in the air. But if you would rather, you can also put it inside a piece of foam standing up like this, or on a piece of cardboard as well. Let that dry overnight, and you should have a very nice paper tubular bead. So I hope you had a good time with this video, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon at some of our other programs. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.